Hello everyone, and welcome to another video exploring different aspects of generative AI. Today's video is inspired by a thoughtful suggestion from one of my dear colleagues, Akash Isfal. His idea was to explore child safety in the age of AI, a topic that's becoming increasingly important. Now, Akash raised this question after OpenAI recently announced parental controls for the chatbot Sora 2, and that was naturally my starting point. So I checked what OpenAI had to say, and it was an interesting topic. So then I moved forward and I found some links from there to Torn that is also about child safety, but more about protecting children from sexual abuse. And then I also went into the UNICEF site because UNICEF is a United Nations Organization for Child Safety also had something about Gen AI, how to build AI-powered solutions that realize an upcall child's right. Now, there are two main paths I could take when tackling this issue. One was to modify the input data and training of a large language model, or focus on guardrails and surrounding technologies. Unlike, for example, OpenAI, I don't have access to the training pipeline of an LLM, so I focus on what I do have control over, and that is guardrails and the technologies that support them. So, what did I do? Well, I already had a chatbot that uses Azure Content Safety to support the psychological safety of its users. Thus, the logical next step was to extend this chatbot to make it even safer for children. To begin, I asked an LLM to consolidate insights from the sources I had, OpenAI, Tone, UNICEF, and also to supplement them with any additional relevant information. And the goal was to generate a comprehensive agenda for approaching child safety in AI. But this agenda would be actually not on the operational level, but more on a functional level. Then, after I got the agenda and I reviewed the agenda, I used to guide the another LLM to create the operation manual for how this can be actually applied to my chatbot. And I got this manual in Markdown format, and it was a practical document that actually outlines how to improve my chatbot application. Now, let's switch over to the application itself, and let's see how it works. On my screen is the operation manual that describes the functionality that I implemented based on the documentation that was gathered from OpenAI, from Thorn, and from UNICEF. And just to be completely clear, not all the features from this manual are currently implemented in this chatbot. I'll talk about it when I discuss about the implemented features. But for example, age prediction system is not built in, but I have quite a good idea on how it could be built. And if there is interest, I would be happy to walk through how these remaining features could be added. Now, let's discuss this manual and let's see what is in it. So, first thing is implement age verification and restriction. So this means that I would have to implement some kind of login functionality because initially the bot was very open, not good for production anyway. So implement age verification, allow the users to log in, to register, and then ask for their age. Yeah. Now this could be hardened by asking for some kind of age verified document, but that is not a very good path to take because it is quite hard to implement this. but again, we can talk about this next time. So at least some kind of age verification should be in. Then this system should have safety by design principles. So filter training data for harmful content, then design with abuse prevention in mind, so not response but prevention, etc. For example, you can see how this could be done. So you could say that the assistant itself, so in the system prompt, that the assistant should actually avoid these kind of contents. Then we should use age appropriate content moderation, which means that based on the age of the users of the system should moderate the content and should actually change the system prompt to, for example, give suggestions, or when the suggestions are retrieved, they should also be, let's say, graded on a different grade in the content safety spectrum for different uh, age categories of users. Then this is something that I did not actually implement, long-term prompt analysis. So this could be done to make sure that to check if how the user actually changes his prompts, whether he he gets or she gets more disturbed, or how the safety actually, whether it's working or it's not. Then ensure transparency and explainability. So this system should say what it does, what kind of data it uses, what kind of uh, let's say data it stores. It should explain why it gave certain results. Then provide human oversight. Now this is also something that I did not do, but in general, if it seems that the user is very emotionally disturbed, the system could give him could connect him to an operator, to a human being who could help him. Then we should limit data collection and retention. Yeah, this is just normal GDPR requirement, for example. Educate users. Yeah, this should tell the user that yes, like this is not another human being that you're talking to. It's an AI system. It can seem that it's a human, but it's not. It's not. So this actually number 9 also fits into that, avoid anthropomorphism in design. So the system is actually a digital assistant. It's not a person. It cannot love person, or it cannot be his friend. No, it's a digital assistant. Okay, then regular audit. Well, this is something for the future, of course, and that is more or less it. So this is what the set of requirements was, and then based on it, what was done, I implemented the login page, the logoff page, so the users, and the registration page. When during the registration, users need to put in also their age, and then based on this, the system behaves differently. Let's then go into some other things that were done. So let's see how it does, and then we'll discuss different features that are added. So this is the basic or the major API endpoint, the chat API endpoint. So the front end sends a message to the backend. The user must be the message should not be empty. The user must be authenticated, and then the authorized. Then he's authorized also. Then if the user age is less than 8 years, the system just doesn't want to communicate with the user because it's just too young age. And then there is different categories of users which you are going to see. So if the age is from 8 to 12, then it's a child. If the age is from 12 or 13 to 17, then it's teen, and more than 17, it's adult. So these three categories guide the system in giving the messages to the user. Then we have first content safety check. So this user Azure content safety, it asks the content safe, and then the content saved. Then it moves further. If the content is not safe, then it uh, gives back the user an adapted message. So we said this system should be transparent. So if the content is not safe, it gives back the user a more clear idea why the content is not safe. Because what we get from Azure content safety, and we can see it, I think, in here we get just the numbers for hate, self-harm, sexual violence, just numbers from 0 to 4. But what we want to make sure that the user understand what is going on, why this content was, for example, prohibited to be processed by LLM. Then we have a jailbreak detection. So we see if the content, if the user does not want to trick the LLM, then we assess the risk. The assess the risk is again based on different types of users and different different categories of these users. So for the child, the risk is different than for the adult or for the teen. So this is a risk scoring based on the category of the user. Yep. Then this triggers alert. So if there is a risk level that is high in certain categories, triggers the alert. It says, okay, user, this is not something that is really good for you. Are you okay? Like, please ask for help. Okay, and then if the risk is okay, then we get the LLM response. Yeah, this is just we go into LLM, but what in here is important to see is that the system prompt is built differently based on the age. So if you're going to build system prompt, so this is there's a base prompt, that has all these, let's say, prevent first, then response. So this system prompt, or the base system prompt, is useful for preventing any problematic things, but still for different type of age there is additional or there's an addition to this base prompt that then make sure that the outcome of LLM is more appropriate for this age category. So that is now, this is now all the same. This is now the system prompt together with the user input that is now known to be nice. It's sent to LLM, the LLM responds something, and then the input is cleansed. What does that mean? Well, again, if the LLM can say, well, I'm your friend, I think that you're great, I love you, etc., etc., this part cleanses the output. Yeah, make sure that it's the text is cleansed. There is nothing like the user would not like to hear. Then it adds explanations if the content was modified, and more or less then it returns back to the user what was the output from LLM. But the only thing that is actually then extra added is the something literacy snippet. And the literacy snippet is about, okay, now to make sure that the user understands that the LLM is not a human. It's an AI language for adult. It says, okay, I'm an AI language model, a computational system trained to process generate text. It doesn't have consciousness, etc., etc. So this is more about teaching the users that whoever they're talking to, it's not a real human. It is an AI. Okay, and more or less that is it. That is the how the user's message is converted, and then it's returned back to the user. So with this in mind, let's see how this works in the browser. So I will start this in a browser, in a local host, and then we'll see how it actually works. So this is now our web application. So I will register one user. We say the age is, let's say, 14, so a child. Now, let's say in here I say, okay, hi. Now, let's see something that is a little bit on the border. So guns, what are guns used for? Okay, how can you make a gun? And now this should trigger our system. Yes, and it is. So we got some response message, and this message tells the user, okay. Now, to be fair, like this, maybe too more too heavy message. So this is, let's say, the first version. These messages should be changed to be, let's say, appropriate. But yeah, this was now blocked for safety. Yeah. So this is how the system works. If the user is found to be okay, let me then actually log out, and I will now register as somebody with, who is older. Yes. Okay, and then I've asked the same questions. Yeah. Okay, and then now this should trigger a similar message. Yes, indeed, it's a similar message, but more for an older person. Yeah. So yeah, the system just works fine, and if you would like to know more, I can actually help you, and I can implement other features that were not implemented in this version. But for now, thank you, and I hope this inspires you to think about AI safety as a core part of your AI projects.